Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We have established the foundations for Islamic spirituality and saw how that spirituality may be projected upon the realm of activism through a deeper understanding of the concept of vicegerency or khilafa and its realization of the divine names and attributes. Continuing along this line of inquiry, we now enter a new field of discussion, the ailments of activism. Our method thus far has been to examine everything at its first principle level. To understand activism, we needed to understand Islamic spirituality. To understand Islamic spirituality, we needed to wrap our minds around the material and non-material dimensions of the human identity, in particular, an examination of the lower self, nafs. And now, to explore the ailments of the lower self, or nafs, we need to understand their root causes. Understanding the root inclinations of the lower self, or nafs, will allow us to understand its ailments and to more profoundly appreciate the perils and pitfalls of activism. The lower self or nafs has two core inclinations: shahwa, its carnal desires, and hawa, its intellectual, philosophical, and ideological caprice. These two drives define the lower self. Carnal desires, or shahawat, are just that. They are the physical drives within us that arise within the lower nafs due to our material existence and connection to the world. They are the drives of eating, sleeping, sensual pleasure, and others. Some of these desires are permissible, even obligatory, others recommended, others reprehensible, and yet others forbidden. We are discussing more essentially the latter, that is, those forbidden and prohibited. Our intellectual, philosophical, and ideological drives, our hawa, are those inclinations within the lower self that run counter to the divine will, which is expressed in the divine communication of wahi, which is expressed in the Quran and the teachings of the Messenger, Allah's peace and blessings be upon him. Whenever I hold a view, idea, notion, philosophy, or intellectual inclination that is contrary to the divine will, this is hawa and the inclination of my lower self. This inclination is neither in reality rational nor spiritual. It is only an expression of the propensity of a lower self or nafs that is yet to be refined or reformed. And I must know this. Both desires of the lower self are deadly to my material and spiritual existence. They are impediments to my journey to the divine. They are obstacles to the achievement of the true freedom of my heart and its happiness. Both drives are precisely what the purification of the lower self is meant to cleanse. Of the two, the deadlier is hawa, or intellectual caprice. Why? For many reasons. It is more subtle, more difficult to detect, easier to rationalize away, and at many times it is the justification and perpetuation of the shahwa or carnal desire itself. For example, reasoning and believing the imbibing of intoxicants to be beneficial justifies its perpetuation and therefore its harms, makes one blind to reject any valid counter-arguments, veils one from being self-critical, and renders the possibility of remorse and repentance very difficult. It is through the gates of one or both of these drives of the lower self that other spiritual ailments find their expression. The practice of gluttony and licentiousness, for example, are driven by carnal desires. Pride and self-aggrandizement, on the other hand, come from intellectual caprice. From this basis, we can now begin to speak with greater depth about some spiritual ailments that are the bane of our activism, surreptitiously and most often unbeknownst to us. As someone once noted, you cannot fight an enemy that has an outpost in your head. But, to be more precise for our purposes, your heart. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.